April 15th, 2022, along with TMAC. TMAC was smoking hot yesterday. I shit the bed yesterday. I think all the plays I gave on here for free didn't work, meaning TMAC prospered because he was probably on the other side of most of them. So, no sense of me giving a recap. It was not good here. My other plays did good, my paid selections, but as far as the free plays, just not good. But T-Mac gave you a lot of free winners yesterday. Recap a couple of those, T-Mac. Some of them were really nice wins.
Yeah, we did really well. I was really happy with the results. We had St. Louis in the first 5 innings to go over 3.5. That cashed. We had Pittsburgh money line that cashed. We had Miami money line that cashed. We had the first 5 over 3.5 that cashed, and we had the Atlanta game over 7.5 that cashed. And they were pretty no sweat bets yesterday, so I was really happy. But we got to carry it on to today.
Yeah, great day. Me, not so much, but usually when that happens, I come back strong. I'm not sure if I gave the Padres game out on the show or not, but that was a play I had against the Braves. I might have mentioned it, but I don't remember. We kind of went over each game quickly. Maybe we won't do as much of that today and stick with our picks because we've got MLB plays and I've got some NBA. Let me turn on the chat and see if there's anybody here. Not yet. So we're going to start early with the one game's already underway. The Mets and the Diamondbacks are underway, and the Boston Red Sox got their home opener today against the Minnesota Twins. You on that game?
On the Minnesota game, yeah, I am. I took Minnesota in the first 5 innings, money line. Or are you talking about the Mets game?
Twins and the Red Sox.
Okay, yeah. So, and I also took the under 10 for the full game. So with Joe Ryan, he pitches for Minnesota. He's a right-handed pitcher. He didn't pitch a lot last year, but he only had a 1.5 ERA on the road. So he's somewhat trustworthy. I can trust him to throw, 3 or 4 innings at least, I hope. And the Boston batting versus right-handed pitchers, they're batting .215. And they haven't seen Joe, so there's not a lot of data there. So I would only expect them to maybe get 1 or 2 runs off of Joe Ryan today. And then Minnesota's bullpen is not too bad. It's a 3.95, so I'd expect Boston to get 1 or 2 runs off them, totaling Boston, between 2 and 4 runs today. But they are at home in their home opener, like John said, so they might have a little extra juice in their bats. But we'll look at Pavetti at home. He had a 5.4 ERA last year, so not really impressive. But Miami can't. They're not really hitting the ball right now at 172 versus righties, so that doesn't really impress me. But they had a small sample size against Pavetti last year, and they batted 374. So I don't really take a lot in that into account just because it was such a small sample size. But I do believe they can hit him. And I think they will probably get 2 runs off him. So I'm taking kind of a risk on Minnesota and the money line in the first 5. Then the under makes complete sense to me just because they both have decent bullpens, and both teams just aren't really hitting right now. So I think that should cash more so than the first 5 money line for Minnesota.
All right, there you go. 2 plays. Sounds like the stronger plays on the under. You got it at 10 runs, right?
Yeah.
Yep. All right, I like it. And I am on Boston full game, minus 123. Minnesota's 2-4 in the year. Boston's 3-3. Like you said, Joe Ryan's coming out today. I show him 1 game against Seattle. He went 0-1. He lost that game with a 4.5 ERA. He gave up 2 runs over 4 innings and 4 walks. But on the other side, Nick Pivetta, he's 0-1 with a 6.35 ERA so far this season. He got rocked by the Yankees. 5 innings, 4 runs, including 2 home runs. So I just like Boston here at home. And Minnesota has not been hitting the ball. I think Pivetta is the better pitcher. as well. And I expect a stronger performance out of him, which should parlay into TMAC's under as well. Neither team is really knocking the cover off the ball. I do like that chance in the first five because, as we've seen, anything can and will happen. But I think in the ninth inning, I'm going to believe Boston walks away with a victory here against the Twins. It just haven't really seemed to hit their groove right at all. They've got a few good bats in that lineup, Correa and Byron Buxton and Polanco and all them guys. They're just
Yeah, 172 average versus righties is not good at all. So
yeah. So there you go. Under is in play. First five on Minnesota, and I like Boston full game. So there's an opportunity for us to hit all three of those plays without a doubt. Let me look at the weather. It's probably a factor. It always is. The weather is 14 miles out to right, out by Pesky's pole there. So that's the only thing we may have to worry about is the runs is the weather. Nice 67 degrees, sunny degrees. Nice baseball weather right there.
I think you're on the right side with Boston on the full game too, just because they have such a good bullpen and this is their home opener, so it should be a good game.
And not to forget, folks, today I believe it is Jackie Robinson Day.
Oh, so, cool.
We all will be wearing 42. Today is in honor of Jackie Robinson. I do believe today is Jackie. I'm not 100%, but I'm pretty sure April 15th is Jackie Robinson Day. And if Terry can chime in, whether he knows it or Googles it to confirm that, because I'm not always right, that's for sure. We can just run by each game. Washington, Pittsburgh, I got no action. I had Washington yesterday, thinking they could. TMAC had Pittsburgh. He was on the right side there. So I'm going to stay away from that game today. How about you?
I'm going right back to it, Johnny. I'm kind of riding Pittsburgh right now. I feel like their bats they're swinging the ball well right now, or swinging the bat well right now. And against Eric Fetty, he's not a great pitcher. So we'll start with Eric Fetty on the road. He had a 5.4 ERA last year. Pittsburgh versus righties, they're hitting 272. And they didn't face Fetty much last year, but when they did, they lit him up. They were batting 400 plus. So I would expect them to probably get two to three runs off him. He's not a good pitcher by any means, so I wouldn't expect him to hold Pittsburgh to 0 or 1 runs. I'm kind of looking at the 2 or 3 runs. And like we said, Washington's bullpen is not trustworthy at all. We've seen that last night. So I would expect Pittsburgh to probably get 2 to maybe even 3 runs off the bullpen as well. And then Mitch Keller for Pittsburgh, he's pitching at home. He does not have a good record at home with a 7.91 ERA. So he's not really trustworthy as well. But Washington isn't batting very well right now. So they're only hitting 211 versus righties. And they don't really have much data versus Mitch Keller either. But they did have some couple home runs and doubles in the mix, but with very minor plate appearances. And then Pittsburgh's bullpen's actually been pretty good. They have a 2.96. So I trust Pittsburgh in the later innings to pull away again. I got them on the money line at minus 104. And I also took their team total over 4.5 runs at minus 103.
All right, very good. You got some good information there. You're definitely on the right track. Pittsburgh is second in the bigs right now, batting 282. So
that's a team big time.
Yeah, a team nobody expected much out of is really starting to hit the ball good in the first week. It's been a week officially now that we've had baseball. They're 3-3. They're not really hitting the ball out of the park. They're 23rd in the league right now with only 5. But what they are doing is putting across some runs, 4.5 runs a game on average this year, and batting 282. So I like it. I do like it. Washington is 3-5, and their bullpens have struggled, and they've been used a lot. So I think you're on the right side of that one. So,
I'll just add too. I think the team total makes a little more sense, just because Mitch Keller, you can't really trust him. Washington could go out and put up 3 or 4 off him, and then next thing you know, the game's out of hand. So I think the team total makes more sense if you were going to tail those picks. Just a
What's
little
the
heads up.
number on the team total?
I got it at -103. I don't know what it's at now.
No, how many runs you got to get for Pittsburgh?
Oh, 4.5.
All right, and that's what they're averaging, and the line's set at 9 today, so
Mm-hmm.
it's going to take the whole 5 to get over the 4.5. So there you go. Next game up, I do have action on Phillies and the Marlins. I'll come out firing because you're probably on the opposite side of me. So let's see what let's see what I'm bringing out. I'm going back with the Phillies. I'm going back with the dog. I live and die by the dogs, and I'm going right back at it. The Phillies did not. They had their chance in the late innings to maybe, they brought it within a run. It stayed under 3-4.
Yeah.
They had the time. They had the winning run at the plate at times. They had a guy on base and crack a home run. Never happened. So tonight's going to be. I think it's tonight. It's a evening game down in Miami. Zach Eflin and Pablo Lopez. This game will be at 6:40 Eastern Time. Eflin pitched 4 strong innings, only 4 innings against Oakland. Did not give up any runs. And Pablo Escobar, not Pablo Escobar, but Pablo Lopez. You see where my mind's going. 1.80 ERA, pitched a really good game against San Francisco. So 2 battle studs today in this game. Miami's 2-4. Philadelphia's 3-4 on the early season. I think Philly gets it done today. They've been sliding here the last couple games. In fact, they've lost 3 in a row, 4 out of their last 5. I think they bring it to the ballpark tonight and turn this ship around for the Phillies. I was wrong yesterday. I took them yesterday. Sandy Alcantara pitched a great game. They just didn't have enough. Looks like they're calling for some rain there, and the wind's blowing right to left, 9 miles an hour. Are you on this game?
I'm not actually. I wanted to be on the Phillies, but there was just a little too much conflicting information. But after them losing yesterday, I can't see them losing again today to Miami. I'll just note that Miami, they're only hitting 184 versus Eflin, so that's not very good, and they're only hitting 223 against righties. They did face them a couple times last year, and they were only batting 184, but they were putting up runs, like 5 runs, 3 runs, 2 runs. So I don't really like to see. I don't like to see a low batting average and then a whole bunch of runs because you're kind of relying on the home run, it seems like. And the Phillies, they can hit Lopez. They hit him at a 312 last year. They only put up 1 to 2 runs versus him, but they can hit him. So I didn't have a play in this game. I just I'd rather pass, and I hope the Phillies can pull it out for you.
All right, sounds good. And all those numbers are adding up, making sense because the total's set at 7.5. So even though it's a low number, it's kind of written on the wall that it should be a low scoring game with what TMAC had brought there with those numbers. So very good there. Next up, Yankees against Baltimore. I do believe, no, this is Baltimore's 4th game at home. They played Milwaukee. So Yankees are 4-3 on the year. Baltimore's only got that 1 win against Milwaukee the other day. They're 1-5. They're bringing Jordan Lyles to the mound against Montgomery for the Yankees. Jordan against Jordan. Jordan Montgomery against Jordan Lyles. Wind's blowing out to center, 12 miles an hour. Yankees are a huge -200 favor, and the total set at 9 runs. I am not messing with this game. I don't like laying 200 on a baseball game. How about you, T-Mac?
No, I had to pass on the same thing. I don't like laying that sort of money that sort of price on a money line, and I can't really trust Baltimore in any sort of way. So I just passed on that game.
Hey, Daryl's here. How's it going, buddy? Daryl's here. He's asking about the Mets under. The Mets game's already underway. They just got through the first half of the first inning. Arizona had guys on base. They did not capitalize as usual. Arizona is an auto fade team for me, at least until the summer. They are not hitting. They are not putting up runs. I think the total was set at 8, I believe it was. You could probably still live bet it. You might have it down to 7.5 on the live bet.
Yeah.
I lean under. I certainly did. I couldn't pull the trigger on it. Um, but yeah, that was another
That,
one. The
that
Mets
was
were.
that was a really shitty game that I had cap last night. I really wanted to be on the Mets, but there was no value anywhere. So, um,
Yeah,
I
that's
I
how it
think
is today. Go ahead.
what's that?
Well, that's how it is today. They're minus 220, 223. Just
Yeah.
how you going to lay that? I mean,
Well, even in the first 5 innings, the money line it was juiced to like 140 or something. So it's just there
higher than
was,
that.
or when I looked at it last night, I think it was somewhere around there, but it probably is way much higher than that. Yeah.
And asking about the Seattle Mariners under, we will get to that game. I have a free play in that game as
Perfect.
well. I did a video this morning on that, but it wasn't the side, it was the total. Let's keep going. Oakland and Toronto. Oakland's playing some really good baseball, surprisingly. I don't think anybody expected them to come out of the gate. They're 4-3. And Toronto's also 4-3 coming home after that series with the Yankees. Toronto just didn't get it done again last night. Toronto's a heavy favorite here, 178. Total set at 9.5. I'm not on this game. I'm not on this game either, T-Mac. You?
No, I'm not either.
All
I would
right.
lean to the under if I was though.
Yeah, I don't know. Oakland's been smacking the ball around, but I'm gonna stay off that.
Yeah.
I wanna look under at a 9.5, but man, I'll tell you what, Oakland's been smacking the ball around. Toronto, you never know. Uh, they can really get them bats lined up good. How about San Francisco and the Cleveland Guardians? San Francisco's heading to Cleveland. They're a pretty big favorite here in this game. A little disrespect to Zach Plezak. Plezak. On the other side is Carlos Rondon. The line's about a 144. San Francisco is laying 144, so you can find some value in the Indians or the Guardians, whatever you still want to call them. The wind's blowing in. Both teams are 4-2. You on this game?
Yeah, just minorly. I took the no runs in the first inning.
Ooh,
It's my
there you
first.
go.
Yeah, that's my first no run first inning bet this year. So we'll look at Roden. I don't know how to say his name, Rodon or
Carlos
whatever.
Rodon.
Yeah,
Rodon, I
so
believe.
he pitches with it last year. He had a 2.48 ERA on the road. Cleveland, he's a lefty. Cleveland can hit lefties, so that does scare me a little bit. But versus Rodon, they can only hit a .90 average, so they can't hit him very well at all. Even though he is a lefty, so I have faith in Rodon to mow down Cleveland at least in the first inning. And then with Zach Plezak, he had a 4.10 ERA last year at home. It wasn't overly impressive, but when San Fran faces Plezak, they wasn't very good. There was really minor information, but they did not hit him well. They each batter had like 2 or 3 plate appearances, and then none of them got a hit. Maybe 1 or 2 of them. So I like the first 5 under, or sorry, the first inning under 1 run. I think that makes a lot of sense. They both that's the only thing that I got to on that game. I didn't get to the first 5 or the full game. I just thought that the first inning would be no runs. And
All
that's at
right,
minus
all right.
120.
Joey's here. How's it going, Joey? Joey needs an over fix for the day. I don't think we're going to give you that in this game. The total set at 7.5. You got 2 strong pitchers. The one thing I will make is a strong point for Cleveland. They are first in the bigs right now. Um, they're first in everything. Runs per game, 7.5. Home runs, they're second in the league. They've belted out 9 home runs. They're batting 308. 383 on base percentage, first in the league. Slugging percentage, 524. On top of it with 4 stolen bases. So everything would point to Cleveland putting up some runs, but I think they're facing a tough pitcher here today. The wind's blowing in, and Cleveland is kind of chilly. It's 7.5. I would love to make a case for that low number that we could get 8 runs, a 5-3 game, but I can't give a case for that at all. I think it's two strong pitchers that have both pitched good so far this season. I thought I had the numbers on Plezak on his first game out. Yes, I do. He pitched 5 2/3 strong innings, striking out three, and only giving up 3 hits against Kansas City. So, uh, yeah, I'll tell you what. I'll take a stab on Cleveland on the money line. To be honest with you, I would rather take a stab getting some plus money than trying to outguess the run. So, um, yeah, I think Cleveland's worth a shot. It's not a play I'm giving, but it's definitely a strong lean and something to definitely take a look at on your own numbers. Tampa White Sox. You might find it over here, Joey. Tampa White Sox. Tampa plays good on the road. They're not getting a lot of respect. It's minus 125. White Sox are the favorite. You on this game, TMAC?
Yeah, I'm not going to help Joey there for the over, but I took the under in the first 5 innings, under 4.5 at minus 101. So you got Drew Rasmusis, or whatever you want to call him. He's on the road. He's a righty. He had a 2.09 ERA last year on the road, so he's very impressive. He pitches better on the road than at home, which is, you don't find that very often. And Chicago White Sox versus righties right now, they're only batting 201. Nothing impressive. They haven't seen Drew Rasmus, so they're not like I said before. Yeah, Rasmus. So if you haven't seen the pitcher and you're not hitting the ball well, you're ideally not going to hit him very well. So I only give the White Sox maybe 1 to 2 runs off him. And then with Dylan Cease, he's a right-handed pitcher for the White Sox. He had a 3.18 ERA at home last year, which was much better than on the road. So that's good. He's in a good spot here at home. Tampa versus righties, though, they're hitting 258. They are hitting the ball. But versus Cease, there's not really much data there. So I would expect maybe them to get probably 2 runs off Cease, no more than 2, because he is a good pitcher. He's at home. He's in a good spot. And the bullpen for the Chicago White Sox, it's not bad. It's 3.14, so that's pretty trustworthy. And I actually don't have Tampa's bullpen here, so I made a mistake. But we're only on the first 5 under anyways. So we have 2 good pitchers, and they're in good spots, and the batters haven't seen them, so I don't expect a lot of runs off of each other.
All right. Yeah, you got the wind. It's a nice chilly day there. Evening, it's going to be 16 miles an hour, wind blowing right to left. They're both hitting the ball all right on the year. Both of them are putting up some runs, though. White Sox 4.83 runs a game, and Tampa's right behind them at 4.43. Tampa's hitting the ball, getting on base a little better. On base percentage 318, and a batting average 261. Rasmussen got a little roughed up. He only pitched a short outing against Baltimore, his first start, and Dylan Cease pitched a really good game, his first time out against Detroit. So I can't make a case for the over here either. I can't make a case for the under. I've decided to stay off this game if I was to play it. Yeah, I don't know where I'd go with that, to be honest with you. I would almost lean White Sox, but I don't want to make a play on it, so wish we could give you more. T-Mac gave you a play in the first 5, so we'll go with that. Angels, Texans, Rangers, I've got nothing going on that. 2 not very strong pitchers, in my opinion. Total set at 10. Angels are laying 111 on the road. You on that game, T-Mac? Angels?
No, I don't have anything on that one. I passed. I don't even have any information written down, actually.
Yeah, I can't. Yeah, play over maybe. Reed Detmer's left-hander. Texas is hitting the ball pretty decent so far. Angels haven't really found their groove. Texas isn't winning games, so let's move on. Detroit and Kansas City. Usually we have some Detroit crowd in here. I don't see any of them yet today. Screwball, Terry Screwball.
Scooby.
when I see his name, it's usually an auto fade for me. He's just not performed at a big league performance. This could be your over if you're still here with us, Joey. This game's set at 8. You got Brad Keller on the other side. Last time I faded Keller, and he pitched a hell of a game. So, wind's blowing in 12 miles from center. I might look at the under in this game. I mean, the over in this game, to be honest with you. Skewball is just known to give up runs. And Brad Keller generally has 2. So, Skewball, his last time out against the White Sox, 4 innings, 7 hits, 5 runs, 4 of them earned, 3 walks, and only 3 strikeouts. He usually does get roughed up. Left-handed pitcher. Are you on this game, TMAC?
I am. I hate to say it, but I'm not fading Skubal. Keller's, he's kind of the same thing. They're both fade pitchers. You don't want to be betting on one of these pitchers really, but when they're going against each other, it's kind of a different story, I guess. We'll start with Skubal. He's a lefty. He pitched with a 5.55 ERA on the road last year, so not good at all. He was way better at home, so he's not really trustworthy on the road. So KC versus lefties, though, they're not batting well at all. 158, which is garbage. KC versus Skubal, 165 average. That's garbage. They faced them 4 times last year. They gave up 5 runs, 3 runs, 2 runs, 0 runs. So I don't know what to expect there to KC. Just the fact that they're not hitting right now, I would only give them maybe 1 to 2 off Skubal. I'd probably say more like 2 because Skubal sucks. But Detroit does have a good bullpen at 3.3. So if Skubal gets into trouble, I feel like the bullpen can come in and save the day and keep Kansas City under 4 runs probably just because they're not hitting. Then we'll look at Keller at home for Kansas City. He's a right-handed pitcher. He's not any better. He had a 5.89 ERA at home last year versus a 5.03 on the road. So he's worse at home actually. And Detroit versus righties right now, they're smashing the ball at 305. And Detroit versus Keller, they didn't see him much, but they had a 263 average, getting 6 runs and 2 runs. And KC's bullpen is complete garbage too, so their pitching is just trash from top to bottom. So I don't trust their bullpen. I feel like Detroit batting at 305, they should be able to get their runs off Keller and the bullpen. So I took Detroit on the money line at plus 110 last night.
Detroit money line, full game or first 5?
Full game.
Full game. Jeff's here. Jeff's part of that Detroit group. Jeff is right. Tigers did cash on the money line last night. Kansas City is just not hitting the ball. I can't say Detroit's hitting it too much either, but they are hitting it a little more than Kansas City. They're batting 208 for the season, and Detroit's just right above them at 223. Detroit's putting up a few more runs per game, only 3.57, and Kansas City's averaging 3.5 runs a game. Neither one of these teams are hitting the ball out of the park. I can't make a case for either of them. Kansas City ERA so far this season is an astounding 6.33. Yeah, I cannot blame you guys for taking Detroit whatsoever. I can't do it with my money or your money for that matter against Skubal.
He's the concern. If he can pitch well, modestly well, then they should get the win.
But with all that being said, I still would probably look towards the over as a lean, and I usually lean under. So there you go. Mets scored in the first, won the nut in top of the second. Let's move on. Another tough one here, or at least tough in my opinion. St. Louis against Milwaukee. What are you looking at there? I'm not touching this game. I took St. Louis yesterday, and they burnt me, and I think they have I think they have just as good a quality pitcher today with Peralta. St. Louis is a fairly big favorite, 151, total set at 8.5. It's another game. I've got some NBA, so I'm not going crazy in the MLB today. You looking at this game, St. Louis and the Brewers?
No, actually, any games after this point, I didn't get the cap last night. I was up till 4:30 a.m. and I just had to go to bed, so I didn't actually finish the last 3 games on the card. So all my plays are out for the day. I'm
All
done
right.
with. I wish I could have got them done, but I may look at that a little later. You can always follow me on Twitter. I always put them. Actually, today I can't put anything out because my phone's broken. So yeah, we got our play. That's all I got for today.
All right. All right. You come back in the comment section if you want and post them. Um, I don't know how much gems there are. I got one more play. We can just brush over these. My next play is in the next game, which is the Cubs and Colorado. I did play the under, but I don't think I gave it on the show. Unfortunately, the plays I did not give out are the ones that won. Anyway, it was 5-2. Cubs ended up taking it 5-2, staying under the total of 11. They've adjusted that spread all the way down to 10 in Coors Field today, but you got two strong pitchers. Marcus Stroman's coming in, and Yerman Marquez, if I'm saying his first name. It's Yerman, I think. Anyway, Stroman pitched a real good inning, 5 innings, 2 hits, 1 earned run, 3 strikeouts against the Brewers, got him a 1.8 ERA. And Marquez pitched stronger game against the Dodgers, 7 innings, 3 hits, 5 strikeouts. I'm going with Colorado here, laying the 115. Like I said, the Cubs got them last night. I think the Rockies will bounce back today. The Rockies are hitting the ball pretty good. They're towards the top right now with 267 batting average. And both teams are putting up about the same, 4.5 runs a game. I just think in this rubber match here that Colorado's going to get it. This is a 4-game series, I do believe. So, yeah, this is 4 games. So I expect Colorado to put a good game in today and take down the Cubs. Stroman, like I said, can be a stud, but Marquez is more of a stud in my opinion. Might look at Colorado even in the first 5 as well. So there you go. That's a third play for me. So I took Phillies plus money, Boston laying a little, and Colorado just laying a little as well. No, nothing heavy. I don't do heavy favorites. Like the next game is not a heavy favorite. It's Atlanta, San Diego. San Diego smashed them last night. Atlanta is 3-5 on the year, not looking like the same team. San Diego put up 12 on them last night, 12-1. Yeah, this guy pitching for the Padres tonight, I'm not familiar with, and then you got Kyle Wright on the other side with Atlanta. I'm just going to stay off of this game and probably the rest of these games like TMAC and focus in on the NBA. I do have Houston, Seattle. Somebody asked about that. I made the video this morning. I'm going to go ahead and take the Astros. It's Odorizzi against Marco Gonzalez. Houston's 4-2. Seattle's 3-4. Odorizzi pitched 4 innings, 6 hits, 2 earned runs, 2 strikeouts against the Angels on Friday. Marco Gonzalez just pitched on Sunday. He only made it 2 innings, got rocked around, 6 hits, 6 earned runs, and 2 walks against Minnesota. Seattle's got a 3.51 ERA for the season, but they're only batting 192. Houston's ERA is 1.69 for the year. They only got hit up on 1 game, the second game where they gave up 13 runs. Somebody asked about the total. I think your better play is taking Houston. I got it at minus 112, and it's still looking like it's sitting right around 112. Total's 8.5.
That's a pretty good price. That's a pretty good price for Houston.
It smells funny though, doesn't it?
It does a little bit. I wish I would have been able to break it down a little bit.
Well, you still got time because that game's not until 9:42 your time. So I'll try and have some time.
I'll try and post it if I do get to it.
Yeah, it's suspiciously low. Houston had a day off yesterday. Seattle, right? Yeah, right? Yeah. Seattle had traveled back from Chicago. So that's another angle. Seattle is on a road game traveling back home. Houston's nice and settled and had a day off in between their game with Arizona. Uh, yeah. If it doesn't always smell good, and something might be wrong. But yeah, it's just
I'm betting it's the pitcher splits. I'm thinking that Gonzalez might pitch good at home, and maybe Ottavizzi doesn't pitch well on the road. Something like that might be going on. I'll have to look into it, but there's something going on definitely. If the line's
yeah,
only minus 120.
-112. Yeah,
Oh
yeah.
my book is at Bet 365. They just came into my province, so they're fucking around a lot. They're laying a lot of juice on lines now.
Taxing you. Yeah. You got to get some more books, T-Mac. Let me know if you need something. I can get you signed up somewhere. The more
Perfect.
lines, the more lines you have, the better value you can find. I shop lines all night long.
Yeah.
Last game, another one I'm just not going to touch. Cincinnati and the Dodgers. Dodgers roughed them up last night. Dodgers are starting to finally click. The last 3 games they put up 7, 7, and 9 runs respectfully. They smashed the Reds last night 9-3. Again, this is what we're going to see all year long as the Dodgers is heavy favorites. -235 and the total set at 9. I just can't lay -230, -200 in baseball. Upsets do happen. It probably won't happen tonight, but I'm not willing to take that chance. I don't know about.
Even their team total set at 5.5. It's pretty high.
Yeah, they're expecting them to smash the Reds. 6-2, 6-3, somewhere in that neighborhood. I don't
Mm.
like. I'm not a fan of laying a run and a half. I've been asked about that before. I just don't like doing it. I just don't. I just stay away from those games, and that's what works for me. So let's move into the NBA. We'll wrap this show up for tonight. 2 games in the NBA. These 2 teams will play to finalize the 8th and final spot in the NBA playoff. The winner of the Atlanta Cleveland game will go on to play the Miami Heat, and the winner between the New Orleans Pelicans and the LA Clippers will go on to face the Phoenix Suns. First off, Atlanta's favored by 2. Total set now at 223. I'm going to give my play. I got the under at 225 yesterday. Excuse me. Before the line started, Justin, realizing all 4 games that went under, I gave all 4 of those unders on this show. Perfect 4-0 on the unders. So I'm clicking on the unders. I'm going back to the under again tonight between the Atlanta and the Cleveland Cavaliers under 225. It's still at 223, and if I liked it at 225, I still like it at 223. What's one basket? What do you think, T-Mac? You're not playing NBA tonight?
No, I didn't get to it. What the hell was it? The Cavaliers. So is that Jared Allen guy? Is he out still?
He's going to make an effort to play. I did see that. Let me look to see if I got any updates because we do.
He
He
is a
is
big
definitely
piece.
playing.
Okay,
Yep.
because I had Cleveland in the last game and he didn't play, and I got smoked in the first half by them. So I do like Cleveland if he is playing. I do like your under if he's playing as well because he takes up a lot of room in the paint, and that'll leave what's his name there, Trae Young. He'll have to really get his points from the outside more or less from the paint. So I do like the under, but I'm not on anything officially, and
Yep, Daryl.
I'd probably lean to Cleveland as well, but my money's not there.
Yep, Daryl. I'm more than leaning on the under in the first game. I'm leaning more to under on the second game because I played them both under. It's a perfect
Nice.
4-0. I'm going to keep riding that 4-0 on the unders. They're starting to play defense. Let me still finish up this Hawks game. Bogdanovich is a game time decision, so that is truly a coin toss whether he'll play. It's not listed as he was questionable 20 hours ago. The update is a game time decision. I would count on him to play, but for sure Lou Williams is out tonight for sure, and John Collins is out. Big problem for the Hawks. He's their big man, and bringing Jared Allen back and Market in and all them guys for the Cavs. Cavs playing at home, pumped up. I'd say Cavs take this game. I don't, everybody wants the Hawks, and the lines went up to 2.5 since the show. So the 30 minutes we've been on here, money's still coming in on the Hawks. I think that's the fan favorite, the public favorite. Um,
If
but I'd be
if
willing to
Cleveland
say the Cavs are going to take this game tonight.
if Cleveland's at home, I think it's a no-brainer to take them.
I think if Cleveland plays like the 3 quarters they played against Brooklyn the other night, the first quarter they fell asleep, but then they woke right up and they outscored them the rest of the game, believe it or not. Having us cover that 8-point spread, they were down by 40 to 20 in the first quarter and came out and outscored Brooklyn the following 3 quarters. So, Daryl says, more playoff experience in tonight's game than Wednesday night's game. This is it, guys. This is do or die. So,
And I'll just say too, Atlanta pounded. Who did they play?
they played the
Charlotte.
Hornets. Yeah.
Yeah, so they pounded Charlotte. So they're I feel like they're gonna come in a little soft today. Actually, not
Well, and then you
soft.
also got to consider Cleveland's had an extra day of rest and they're playing at home. So
Yeah,
it's a little disrespectful. I think this game should be truly a pick of myself. Cavs laying 2.5 on the road. Short rested, short bench, or short players actually with Lou Williams and John Collins out. And Bogdanovich not being 100% healthy. Like I
I
said,
think I
don't
think I'm
think
gonna
these
bet.
guys don't look at the lines.
What's that, John?
Don't think these guys for Cleveland don't look at the lines. They read the papers. They got the internet. They know they're getting disrespected at home.
Oh
They're
yeah,
like,
I
what
think
do you
I'm
mean
actually gonna
we're underdogs?
I'm gonna put some money on Cleveland right now. Actually, after this video, and take them.
All right, let's hope for the best on that. But yeah, I like the Cleveland here in this spot. Yeah, as much as everybody wants Trey Young to be in the next round. Trey Young will have his time. It's just probably not going to be this year, unfortunately. Even if they get by the Cavs, they're not beating the Heat. So.
No, no.
Next
I don't
up,
like. What's that?
oh, what were you saying?
I was just saying I don't like Atlanta as a team, anyways. So I think if they did get past Cleveland, they should. I would think they'd get hammered by the next opponent.
Well, either one of them's going to get hammered by the next opponent. The Heat's gonna wipe both their asses. They might get squeak out a win, but it's doubtful. That's the problem. These ACs they don't really stand a chance in the next game. It's going against Phoenix anyway. You got Pelicans and the LA Clippers. This line has been 4 up until they released it 2 days ago, and now it's just changed. Clippers are laying 4. Now it's Pelicans -1. And if you haven't heard by now, Paul George is out. Paul George has got COVID. He is not playing. The line has changed. I went under 216. It is at 215.5. It was that before Paul George was declared out, and it's still at that. So his being out has not affected the line at all, half a point. So I'm still going to ride the under in that game. Tough call in the game now. Paul George is out, but you know what? The Clippers have been playing without him a lot towards the end of the season. They're kind of gotten used to him and Kawhi being out, and they're still winning games. But it's a tough game there. You got leading in that game, at least TMAC, Pelicans, and the Clippers without Paul George.
Without Paul George, that's like going back and forth, back and forth. That's hard on a team, I think, to keep your flow going. So I didn't bet it, but I would look at New Orleans in the first half. Clippers may be able to, get their shit together and win the game, but I don't really know. I didn't look at the game, but just with Paul, how can the line not drop with Paul
It
George
did.
being it?
It
Like the
did.
team
It
total
5 points.
or the
The
total?
total. Yeah, I don't
Like
know why that hasn't moved too much.
that should have dropped a couple points. So it just makes me weary about what's going on there. But like just without Paul George and them going back, I would lean towards New Orleans in the first half.
Yeah, yeah, I can't make a play in this game now. Um, Paul George played great the other night. I was really looking at the Clippers, and then when I heard an hour ago that he's not playing, kind of all bets off the table. So Just gonna stick with my under in both games, and I'm
I like
liking
I
the.
like the under. I like the under a lot in that Clippers game for sure. Without him, like it's kind of it almost makes too much sense.
Yeah, yeah. Anyway, Daryl wants some USFL predictions. Unfortunately, I'm not even showing lines on offshore. Really, I saw a couple lines this morning at the casino itself. Looks like the totals are sitting around 42, and then they were like 3 point spreads. So first year, first game. Don't really know what's what and who's who. All games will be played in Birmingham. There's no home field advantage. All games are televised. I'd love to jump right in. There's a full slate of NBA tomorrow, so I may just keep an eye on the USFL, but I could not give any predictions to put my money or anybody else's money on, unfortunately. Um, Maybe, like I said, we'll keep our eye on it and see what it comes of. Um, but four
What do
big.
they what do they play, John? Just once a week too, kind of thing,
Yep, they'll
or
play once a week. There's one game tomorrow and three on Sunday. I did see that, like I said, up at the sports book. I think it's New Jersey Generals tomorrow, if that's right. Yeah, I've got to, like I said, dive into it a little more, and it's going to be tough because there's four big NBA games. Round one starts tomorrow. Utah and Dallas starts nice and early, at least early for me. It's 10 here, one on the East. Memphis and Minnesota's on also. Toronto Philly's going to be a huge game there, and Denver Golden State. That's it. Unless you
do,
have any bold predictions of who's going to win these series, do you think Toronto can upset Philly and move on,
I think they can upset Philly. I haven't bet it yet, but I was more interested in Dallas. Is Luka Doncic going to be out, or is what's going
he
on with
is
him?
not? He is not going to play the first game. The line tells you that. Yeah, he's very unlikely. It says the line tells you Utah's favored by 5 on the road. If you see that line go back to even or something, then you
Yeah,
know Luka's playing. But yeah, it's a no-brainer with the line Utah -5 on the road against Dallas. Um,
I made a
yeah,
big mistake, and I took Dallas at plus 2.5. I didn't notice that Luca was gonna. I thought Luca would have been playing, to be honest. So that might hurt me a lot. But it really sucks because I like Dallas a lot. I would have put like a couple of units on Dallas probably to win that game with Luca.
well, if you were getting points on home, this should have get driven a red flag a little bit.
Yeah, I kind of made a mistake. I might fuck up, but shit does happen from time to time. So
Yeah,
I'll deal with it.
yeah. So there you go. Wish I had something bold to predict. I mean, I might, we're not doing a show tomorrow. Saturday, we don't. We'll be back Monday. Hopefully, TMAC will be back. Bo's still on vacation. Bo is definitely still part of the team, just on vacation. Um,
The Golden State Denver game, I was looking at taking Denver in the first half. I didn't make the bet yet, but because the first half wasn't out a couple days ago, but now it is. So I'm gonna look at taking Denver at plus 3.5. I'm not gonna bet it yet, but I'll definitely let you guys know if I do
all
take
right.
it.
All right, there you go. Yeah, Paul George is out. Luca's out, Daryl. And Steph Curry is not officially ruled out. In fact, I just read he is on track to play game one. And the line kind of tells you that, too. They are laying 6.5 points against Denver. And I think Denver is a team that matches up good with Golden State. Denver, I know, took at least one game with Golden State. I remember it real well. I had Denver that night. Um, so, with that being said, I'm going to find a reason to take Denver. Um, Unless I see something But 6.5 points in the opening playoff game. I lean Denver strongly right now. Like I said, unless I find something to back me off of that. I usually look at the dogs and the unders first, and then I work my way backwards to find a reason not to take the side the house is not on. The public's going to be on Golden State tomorrow. There's no question about it.
That's a great way to look at it. Start with the underdog and the unders and work your way back.
Yep. And that's how I do it. I know where the public's going to be, where the fan favorites are, and what side the house is going to get stuck with, and I try to find a reason why I shouldn't be on the house's side and why I should be with the public. So there you go. Toronto Phillies, a 4.5 point spread. It'll probably move to 5. Money will come in on of course, James Harden, Joel Embiid. So when it moves to 5.5, I may make my move on Toronto. So hopefully the Golden State game goes up to 7. I get that extra half a point. But it should be some good basketball this week in round 1. Don't see no major upsets. Maybe Dallas can pull it off for TMAC. They have played without Luka before, and they have won without Luka before. So you never know. That's why they're going to play these games. We're going to look at some USFL this weekend. Continue trudging along in MLB. We're not missing much now. It's 1-0. Mets, third inning. So the under's still looking pretty swell in that game. And that should do it. T-Mac, have a great weekend. Hopefully we catch you on Monday. You available Monday?
Depending on the time, yeah, we'll try to figure something out and make an appearance.
All right. Yep, we've been trying to do some early shows with early baseball going on, and a lot of games.
Well, I noticed today there was the first day they didn't have like early games. They had the one early game, but everything else is slated for 7:00.
Oh no! You got a game. Minnesota Boston's throwing the first pitch in 3 minutes. Jackie Robinson.
Oh no way! Oh,
yep,
I must have missed that.
Yep, they're throwing the pitch in 3 minutes. Boston's home opener against Minnesota. So
perfect.
2 early games on Friday, 2 home openers. Hey, Terry, thank you. You have a good day as well. Good luck to you. Good luck to everyone in here. Thanks for watching. Thanks for joining. We will see you guys on Monday. Thanks again.
Thanks, guys. Have a great day.